This is my C3 project car, and in today's video, we're gonna begin body work. So the first thing we're gonna do is walk around the whole car with a Sharpie and pinpoint some areas where we need to do body work. Obviously, this stuff right here, like that, is very obvious, but then there's little things which aren't so obvious, like this. There's a little crack right there. I can't tell if that's in the fiberglass or if it's just through the base, but we're gonna wanna sand down this area to bare fiberglass and assess from there. All right, we have a lot of the little stuff marked up. There's nothing really that major. There's only a few areas where I'm gonna really have to do fiberglass work on the outside of the car. We have this guy right here. I'm not really comfortable fixing this with Bondo, so we will probably have to cut out a little bit and do fiberglass right there. Then we have this guy, which is on the inside more, right here. I mean, I could honestly probably just Bondo this because it's not really in an area that's gonna be getting much tension or anything, you know what I mean? But we'll probably use fiberglass to fix that. Then really, I think that's about it for the outside. We have this guy, which I think we can get away with Bondo. And then the only other area I think that's gonna need fiberglass is this, which is just to delete the antenna. That's not really an issue with the car. But anyhow, pretty straight body otherwise. Now, I do want to go ahead and start with the inside, which we have a big old gaping hole right there from an electrical fire. So we're gonna cut out a little square right here. Thank goodness that down here is pretty solid still. So really we just need a flat square and then we will patch it up. So let's go ahead and cut this guy out and then go from there.
A little note to self. The next time I do this, I am wearing long sleeves and jeans because I am covered in fiberglass dust right now. I don't want to take off my mask just yet, just because I'm sure there's still some floating in the air. I'm going to be real itchy for the next few days probably. I did put gloves on, but yeah, I'm covered. But anyhow, now we need to sand the area, and I got all the damage out.
Okay, the repair area is nice and clean. I sanded way down with some 80 grit, and then I used some degreaser, which I used just standard degreaser, and then I also used some lacquer thinner afterwards to clean up. So you can see this is still wet from the first degreaser I showed you, but the lacquer thinner area is nice and dry. So what we're gonna do is put tape here, and then basically that will allow us to lay the fiberglass right over the tape. Okay, we should be ready to go. I cut some sheets to size. We have the repair area ready to go. And then over here we got the resin. So I'm gonna mix this up, and I think I'm gonna just dunk the sheets in here and just make sure that they're completely absorbed. I feel like that's gonna be the easiest way to do it, and then just apply them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm probably gonna do this off camera because I gotta be really quick. Okay, fiberglass cloth is laid down. It's looking really, really good. Now, we got a lot more to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do the antenna, do this little guy right here, and then that little spot on the door. We are all finished up for now with the fiberglass work. We have this hole filled nicely. I used my Dremel and widened it up, and then we were able to fit some fiberglass in there. I also sanded it with 80 grit so we get some good mechanical tension, or adhesion, my bad. So this one I'm really happy with. We have this guy down here, which surprisingly, this actually hardened up pretty quick. I probably put too much hardener, but this is all done. I was able to put it on the inside and the outside. Looks really nice, super solid, really happy with that. The antenna delete right now is curing, but this is all done. I didn't want to go too crazy with this one. I'm gonna have to sand off a lot of this resin, but I want to be able to kind of use some of that body filler so that way I can get it looking better, because it's just kind of hard with the fiberglass and the resin to make it perfect and like level. So this, I'm gonna knock off a lot of this resin and then use body filler. And then we have this guy over here. I can't show you the one inside the door right now, but I was able to get fiberglass there. I'm not super happy with it. So we'll see how much fiberglass is left after I sand it down. But that's a spot where I'm really not too worried about using some Bondo, just because it's not in a spot that's gonna be getting a lot of touch, or you know what I mean? Like it's pretty, I mean, it's hidden by the door, you know? This guy right now, I have a little silicone, it's a coupler for intercooler piping. But anyway, I cut it up and I put it in the door so that we could get some tension going up. And then I was able to pack some fiberglass in there and some resin. So I'm pretty happy with how this one turns out. We'll see how it looks after it hardens and I can open the door, which it is starting to harden. But I'm gonna wait until tomorrow for this one. But we will also have to use some body fill on this to get it perfect. And I also used my Dremel and kind of just followed that crack down and widened it up a little bit, and then got 80 grit in there and sanded it. But hey guys, overall I'm pretty happy with how all these repairs went. Other than the one, I guess the one inside the door, that one was kind of like eh. But like I said, it's in a spot where I think I can get away with body filler and it won't be the worst thing ever. But yeah, so now we need to sand the whole car, which I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow. It is like 1 a.m. right now, almost. So we'll let this all cure overnight, come out here in the morning and start sanding. All right, it is 2 days later and I decided to just go ahead and start sanding. So I'll show you guys the body work that we did. So right here is the one area that we did it. So pretty happy with how that turned out. Obviously we still have to do more work to it, but it turned out really good. Happy with it. I also had some down here that I needed to do. So I'm gonna put some on this side tonight, and then we need to trim it up and make it look better. But I also put some kitty hair Bondo right here and here. And then here's the other area that we patched up. I'm really happy with this one. It's gonna blend in really nice. You're not even gonna be able to see it. Really happy with that. And then we haven't even started sanding back here, so yeah. But anyway, enough talking, let's get sanding. Alrighty, check it out. I managed to get this all done today. It's looking real good. So the front clip has definitely been repainted, but it's interesting because the doors were also repainted because there was clear on them. But I almost think that they just scuffed up the base and shot clear over it, like the OEM base. So only the front clip has actually been like fully stripped down and repainted. But I think I removed enough material that we're gonna be okay to just shoot over top of it. And on top of that, there was really no paint failure other than the clear coat. So we got rid of all the clear coat, and then there was some like small spots, like right here, there was some paint failure, but it was more the fiberglass was the issue, not the paint, if that makes sense. We got a lot done today. We're not done. We still have a lot to do, and I'm gonna still do more today, but I'm really happy with the progress we're making. So later tonight, we'll do some body work, and then tomorrow, I think we'll get the doors off and start hand sanding all these little nooks and crannies. So we'll get in here, sand these guys up, and then I'll probably be able to use the DA on a lot of this because it's pretty flat. But we're gonna paint all the way up into here. So we'll stop at this line right here. So we'll paint this. So we'll sand this all up, sand the door jamb. We need to do body work here. We'll do that when the doors are off though, so we got better access. And then we are gonna go ahead and stop with the paint right about here. And I'm gonna paint this with Pour 15 rust treatment. Same with in here. There isn't really any rust, but I think that Pour 15 will do a good job at converting any rust that's there. We're gonna get a wire wheel or something and try to get in there as best as we can. There's no scale or anything, but I think it'll be better to do that than just try to sand all the rust away and have some left over. At least with the Pour 15, if there is any rust left over, it'll encapsulate it and make sure it doesn't spread. With regular paint, that's probably not gonna be the case, so don't really wanna risk it. Okay, it's later that night, and now I wanna go ahead and do some body work. The first guy I wanna do is this right here. I already hit this with 80 grit when I was sanding the car because I knew I was gonna be doing this tonight. But if you look, right there is a clean spot that does not have any sanding done to it. So we wanna make sure that we scuff that up right there. Okay, so I have some cloth cut, some fiberglass cloth. Now I'm mixing up the resin and hardener. I'm gonna go set the screwdriver down. Okay. Fiberglass is actually pretty easy to work with, I'm not gonna lie. I think I would rather work with fiberglass than metal, personally, because you don't have to weld or anything with fiberglass. So now what we're gonna do is lay that cloth down right there, grab this guy. I'm just kind of dipping it in there, getting it all nice and resiny. And then I like to kind of pat it to make sure that there's no air bubbles. Okay, and then this will be the final piece. I cut up way too much. I'm not using these guys over here. Okay, this guy we're gonna get really nice and resiny. Okay, I think the next thing I'm gonna tackle is all of these areas that need the Bondo. Filler is all on. Obviously, a lot of this is gonna be getting sanded off, but now the next thing we need to tackle is this stuff. This like foam on here. I need to get all of this off on the other side as well. And then we have these I need to remove, and then these which are just riveted in. So get that all out. I guess we can also take these guys out, which it looks like it's just a nut, and I'm assuming oh, it might just be one nut. We might loosen that up and then it should come off, I think, maybe. I don't know. But we need all this removed. That way tomorrow I can scuff the inside of the doors. And then I think we're gonna be taking the doors off tomorrow too. And then, I mean, we are on our way. I really want to get this done and sprayed in October. All right, the door is nice and stripped and ready for sanding tomorrow. Now we need to do some body work. We have fiberglass repair we need to do over there and also right here. All right, you guys, so it is the next day. I got some more body work done, or sanding, I guess, mostly, but I went ahead and hand sanded some of these areas, so this is all done. Really, the outside of the body is done. I still need to do the door jambs. I ordered some red Scotch-Brite pads because that'll be the easiest way to do all this. And then tomorrow, me and my buddy will take off the doors. So then we can really prep the door jambs. And also, I guess this is technically a door jamb too, right? I don't know. But get all that prepped and we're looking good. I do have a little bit more body work I want to do tonight. I need to put some filler over this now. I'm really happy with how this looks. It looks so good. You're not even gonna know there was an antenna ever here, and it is patched properly. Like, this is solid. And even the inside, like, it doesn't look bad. Especially once I sand down in here and then put an undercoating and stuff in here. You won't even know that that was there. So really happy with how this turned out. Alrighty, you guys, it is a few days later and I've made some progress. I haven't filmed a lot because it's really repetitive. I'm just sitting there sanding and sanding and sanding. It's awful. But we are finally on to block sanding and it's refreshing. Just because it's a little bit different, I think. And also you don't have to get in the nooks and crannies, so that's really nice. But anyway, let me show you everything I've done, and then we will start block sanding. Here is the body. It looks pretty darn good. I already kind of block sanded up here a little bit on the front clip. This whole fender's done and whatnot, but body is looking real nice. I got the doors off. I decided I'm going to leave the glass in. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but if I break it, it's expensive, and I don't want to do that. And there's nothing wrong with this glass, so I'm just going to tape it up really good and call it a day. Here we have the front bumper. I just finished the front bumper. Looks really nice. I got all of this clear coat failure out, so really happy with that. We have a door. Sorry, the garage is destroyed. We have this. We'll talk about this later. Some of you guys will probably be upset with me with what I'm going to do to how I'm going to paint this, but you know, it's a garage paint job. Rear bumper, T-tops are all done. What else? Oh, the pop-ups are over there. Basically, every panel is sanded with 220 grit. And now the next step is to block it all and make sure that there's no highs and lows. And then from there, if we find any lows, we will go ahead, add a little body filler there, and if there's any highs, well, they're going to get blocked down. So, yeah. Now, I'm probably just going to block sand off camera because, again, it's not really that interesting, and it's going to take a while. So if I did do a time lapse, you guys would probably be watching me for a solid, 10 minutes just doing the same thing over and over. So, I'm sure you guys don't want to do that. So, in the next clip, all the block sanding will be done and you guys can enjoy the super nice flat panels. All the panels are now blocked. All the body work is done. I'm super happy with how everything looks. It's really nice. Right now I have all the panels outside because we are setting up the paint area. So I got a Harbor Freight tent. We're gonna move it inside the garage and spray in here. This is our little mixing area. Just finished cleaning it up. So not ideal, but like I've been saying, this is a garage paint job. It's not gonna be perfect, but it'll be all right. And what we're spraying with is this guy, and I'll let you know how this goes. I'll film a little bit in the tent, but I probably can't film too much because I really don't want overspray on my camera because that would suck. But yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna get some primer shot today And then hopefully tomorrow, which will be a new video, we will do the single stage paint. Check it out. I'm really happy with this. So this is the 10 from Harbor Freight. Here is the body. I have 2 exhaust fans. Here's the not ideal paint sprayer, but it will work, I promise. Or it should. Everything I've seen online. I've seen people get really good results with it. So we'll see. Hopefully I get good results, but yeah. Anyway, we need to do some taping. I need to tape off the windshield, the rear windshield, and then this T-top area. Everything else, I don't really care if it gets overspray. Well, because it's gonna be getting painted black or whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited. The lighting, not ideal. When I do the body, I'm gonna get some lights in there, but for primer, I don't really care. I'm charging my little handheld magnet light things, and we're just gonna put those in there. It'll lighten it up a little bit. That way I can at least see a little bit of what I'm doing. Oh, and then also, forgot to say it, but I have an intake fan right there. So yeah, I don't know, you guys. I'm feeling good about this. I think it's gonna work pretty well. I'm excited. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taping up, and then once that's done, I mean, we'll wipe down the car one more time and shoot some primer. Check it out, the body is shot in primer. I'm pretty happy with how that little electric spray gun went. There was some hiccups, but they were my fault. A few runs here and there. Doesn't really matter with high build primer though. You're gonna sand it down anyway. And the other thing too, you guys, the reason I'm using this electric paint gun is because this compressor's broken. I didn't really want to buy a new one. A good compressor is expensive. And the other issue is the overspray. This electric paint gun has very little overspray, and I do have an overkill setup for it. Man, I bruised my arm good. Sorry, I was looking at that. But yeah, so that's the reason behind this. Now, I need to get my booty going and get all of this clean and get it in there. I think we'll be able to fit it all, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see. The doors might be an issue. I might have to do 2 more sessions, unfortunately. So a total of 3. Not ideal, but we can get these in there, get them shot really quick, and then move on to the next batch. And we're probably gonna have to do that with paint too, which is really annoying because paint, we're gonna have to wait like an hour before we touch it. Primer, you can touch it after like 10 minutes. And then you can sand it after 30, so it cures really fast. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get some stuff cleaned, get it in there, and get shooting again. Okay, I'm done shooting primer finally. I hope you guys like my little Breaking Bad outfit. Man, I think the lacquer thinner is getting to my brain. Anyway, I think I've already showed you the body. We got the T-tops, the door, and the front bumper, mirrors, gas cap, all of that are down there. Hopefully you guys can hear me good. I know those fans are loud, I'm sorry, but everything looks really good. Let me go out here so you guys can hear me a little bit better. I'm just letting that air out a little bit. And then I have the hood, the other door, and the pop-ups in there right now. So just finished shooting them, and I'm feeling good. Feeling good. I have the frame sitting in the grass. So hopefully tomorrow we will go ahead and shoot some color. I'm really hoping. I do have to sand all of this primer with 400 grit before then, and hopefully I don't run into any more body work that's required, but man, I don't know if it picks it up well on camera, but you guys, the body looks pretty dang straight. It looks pretty good. I'm sure there's some flaws here and there, but like I've been saying, this is a garage paint job. We are not going for a show car here. We are going for, it's all one color and looks really good from 3 feet away. That's the goal. Not, you can be an inch away and it's perfect. You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen in a garage. And definitely not with an electric spray gun. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how everything's going. But yeah, you guys, I was gonna do 2 videos, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and just show you guys the end result in this video. just because, well, honestly, it's really hard filming all this because the tent, I don't want overspray on my camera. So I don't have very much footage from all this because it was all boring. It's just me block sanding or me sanding or me putting filler over and over and over. You know, it's just repetitive. And I'm sure no one wants to see that. But I'm gonna clean up and take a shower, try to get this primer off my hand, and yeah, let's do it. It is a few days later and the car is done and it looks good. I'm really sorry I wasn't able to like video me painting. I just want to preference this and like tell you guys my time schedule. I got home from Utah. I live in Idaho. I got home and I had 4 days to prep a car, paint it, and everything. And now I'm leaving for a cruise. Pretty much tonight, technically tomorrow, but we leave at 4 a.m. I haven't even packed yet. I just finished cleaning up the garage after painting. So I was on a time crunch. So videoing was kind of in like the back of my head. And then on top of that, I was kind of worried about overspray getting on my camera. So I didn't want to bring the camera in there, and that's where all the interesting stuff was going down. So I'm sorry that I didn't really get any good footage, but let me show you the car now. Here she is. There is a good amount of orange peel, but I can fix it with the wet sand, buff, and polish. But it looks so good. I love this red. It is not the factory C3 red, but it is a GM red. It's Victory red. So I think they started this in the late 80s. I could be wrong, but it's a beautiful, beautiful red. Man, oh, I'm in love, you guys. This is exactly what I wanted. Just a little bit darker than the OEM red. Oh, it looks so good. I also have some mirrors hanging up. I did get some pretty good runs over here. It was a pain in the butt when I was shooting these because I had them hung up just like this. And every time I would shoot it, it would swing, and it made it really hard to do a proper coat because I, first of all, didn't know where I was shooting because it would just swing all over the place. And yeah, but, so we did get some good runs, but I can fix them. I'll just cut them off with a razor, and then we already have to wet sand the whole car anyway, so not a big deal. And then we also did get a run right here. Same situation where the mirror would just swing. So unfortunate, but really not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. Pretty easy fix with some wet sanding. And then worst case scenario, thank goodness it's 2 small items. If I really need to, I can reshoot them in a day. It will not take me long to scuff them up and then just shoot them with the red. But yeah, the car looks freaking sweet. I am really happy. In the next video, we will probably be prepping the interior and the engine bay and the underside for paint, because we're gonna be painting all that black. And then we're gonna also do a rubberized coating on the underside, mainly for sound deadening, because this is a fiberglass body. It doesn't necessarily need it other than in the wheel wells. But yeah, you guys, I'm really happy with how everything turned out. I love the color. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I gotta go and pack because I leave in, I don't know, 6-7 hours. Thank you for watching.